Okay, I wanted to film some theories before the start of the readathon. This is Thursday, May 30th. So I don't want to make them public yet because I have a little bit of insider information. There have been some things that Brie has dropped hints at or even kind of specifically said without full out saying the prompt. And also there have been guesses and theories that she's been like, they were right or they were wrong. And also, there's just been so many videos. So these are not things that I really came up with on my own. These are other people's theories in the theories thread on Discord, and also the hints dropped in the videos and stuff that I think are correct is more what this is. So this is not like original thought. This is just me picking from the selection. So these are the 10 prompts that I think they are. I am not even gonna try and guess cities. Don't know. Don't care. I'll go wherever you take me. But I kind of wanted to have a clip of theories from now that I can maybe insert into videos as they are correct or incorrect. So these are all of my theories. Specifically, the first prompt I think is a book from the library. Brie has specifically told all of the hosts and the mods to get their Libby holds in, and has also said to me and Izzy that Kindle Unlimited would not apply to the first prompt. So I think it's gonna be a library book. I don't know what the workaround will be for anyone who doesn't have access to libraries, because that does exist. But I think that's what the first prompt is. And we actually find that out tomorrow, so I'm gonna know really quickly if I'm right or not. Hi, I have the first prompt. I actually have it a little bit early, and I'm gonna go ahead and watch it so I can be in the team chats and everything, like helping everyone as they get the prompt and are watching it for the first time. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so it's Toronto. It's a book you did not purchase. That's super easy for me. Super easy. I plan on using one from the library that I already have checked out, probably Delilah Green. I was like trying to read the general readathon currency. I'm gonna know it by the end of this month, believe you me. I was trying to like calculate if I can take a plane or not. I understand the concept. I'm still a little murky on exactly how I'm going to utilize all these things, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We have our first prompt. Can't start reading until tomorrow. I will be going to sleep, so I will not be reading at midnight. I am in the time zone that the readathon is based on, so EDT, and I will be reading in the morning when I wake up. So today I will be cleaning my house, getting video stuff done, getting stuff done that's not reading that I would like to have done when I am reading a lot tomorrow. Okay, so it's been like 3 hours since the prompt dropped, and there are just so many people in the Discord that it has been utter chaos. It has been so many questions and stuff, and it's not like anyone being an issue. It's just there's so many people. I feel like I've spent 3 hours answering messages when I was supposed to be cleaning my house. All right, is the end of the day before the first day. It's May 31st. I am so tired. Today was a lot. It was very overwhelming on Discord for someone who ignores all group chats, doesn't answer text messages, won't even answer my own husband 50% of the time. Again, ignores like any group message, even if it's only 2 other people, ignores notifications, finds all of that overwhelming. Today was a lot. I was in there, I was messaging, I was fighting for my life. I was just doing my best to be a good, team host. Oh, that was a lot. Overwhelmed. I did finally get the dishes done. I did get, some other things done. So what needed to get done got done. Not nearly as much as I wanted to get done got done. Like Discord monopolized my day quite a bit more than I was anticipating. So potentially I should have done some of these chores yesterday. So that's on me. But nonetheless, it was a lot, but I am still feeling good about it. I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be some hectic couple hours when the prompts drop. However, like right now, people are really excited for the start of the readathon, but they can't actually read. So I think a lot of that energy is going into Discord, which is fine, totally fine. It's just a lot because there's hundreds of people in there. Actually, there's over 1,000, but like just on romance team, there's like a couple hundred, a few hundred. I don't know. I'm trying to ignore it, honestly. It's not real. Numbers aren't real. La 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 la. So I'm just trying to finish up the admin for my May reading wrap up. So I don't have to do that in the next few days. And then I charged my Kindle and I'm going to finalize. I'm reading, but I don't want to talk too much because I don't want to have a ton to edit, and this vlog is going to cover a few days. But just from the perspective of someone who has never done a competitive readathon before and is also a team captain for way more people than I anticipated, it's a lot. Wake up. It's the first of the month. I'm so tired. Every month on the morning of the first day, I update my reading journal with the stats for that month, whether that is subscriber, reading diversity, video performance, goals. You can see I messed up here. I'm a little angry. But so that's why I do the morning of the first every single month, and I love it. I have been able to track that every month. If my wrap up shows up in the top 5, it's not as high of a viewing month on different videos, and the higher in the top 5 my wrap up shows up, the worse the videos performed. So that's been fun over the last year and a half, having that as a consistent metric. I try to read diversely every single month. I have different reading goals, and you can see I did not read very much in May, which I'm hoping to read every single month in June. So that is actually the goal. This is also my planner system with the post-its until the video is actually posted. And then I finally started my first book with mixed results, if we're going to be honest. Hello, I'm wearing Locked Booktition Black Halloween merch. I'm about to change into Amazing Readathon merch for a sprint. How will they know? They won't know. It's the first. It's the morning. It's almost 11 my time when the sprints happen. I have DNF'd my first book because I'm a professional. Okay, listen, people. I was reading Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. Here's the thing. I don't like wedding settings. I think they're boring. I think they're stressful. I avoid them anytime I know that that is the setup for a book. I don't like them. I don't understand why there are millions of them. I don't like them. I also really don't like contentious, toxic family dynamics. I don't enjoy reading about it at all. I don't like it. I don't like anything that's happening. I don't like it. I'm in chapter 2, so I've gotten both characters' POVs. And yeah, like I don't like this setup. That's why I haven't read this book. And also, I read very little traditionally published romance. I do. It doesn't really appeal to me all that much. And so I'm going to bail. I'm going to DNF at 6%. Instead, I'm going to pick up another traditionally published romance, but this one I have an arc of, and it's also significantly shorter. I know that for the city prompts, longer is kind of better because it goes by page count, but the best thing is to avoid reading slumps, right? And I have basically not read all of May, so we need to keep any momentum possible in June, and that starts for me with DNFing, and so that's the decision that I'm making. So I'm going to start my NetGalley arc of One and Done by Frederick Smith, I want to say is his name, and hopefully get through that before going to my sister's later today. But right now, I'm gonna change my shirt to the proper readathon while still representing my girl Brie. Yeah, you will know, and possibly some people on sprints will know that I wore the same shirt for 2 sprints in a row, but just no, that was only for the sprints. Okay. Okay. I'm not just staying in the same clothes all month long. There was a difference. We're in another Breeze merch.
I was prepared. This is why you don't join them until the second semester.
All right, it's 9:40 at night, June 1st. I'm on sprints, and I am 48% through One and Done by Frederick Smith. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. There's a lot of societal commentary and a lot of, I'm doing this to help people in bad situations get to better situations. I'm doing this for representation. I like that in my books, but it's like little side commentaries on it almost that's kind of disruptive to the story flow. It doesn't fit seamlessly into the writing and the conversations. It feels like we're almost having a little info dump of representation matters, Black and gay teenagers matter, and then back to our conversation. And it's that a lot. I feel like it's not seamless. I just feel like it's a little bit clunky. So that is lowering my enjoyment a little bit. But our characters, I don't really understand their relationship, to be honest. I can't decide if they should be more annoyed with each other or less annoyed with each other. So that's not really helpful. They don't like have the best first impression, but it's also not that bad. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Who cares if you didn't give your full name when you're meeting someone in a bar? Like, I don't understand why we were upset about that. So one of them has family issues and one of them has coworker issues, and it's a lot of messiness with that, and then them apologizing to each other for the mess of other people. Don't really have any other thoughts right now. All right, I finished my first book for the Readathon, and just like 30 minutes before midnight, so way to go me. So that keeps me on my 1 book a day plus DNF's reading pace that I'm trying to hit. So I don't really know how that I would call this a one-night stand, even though they had like 1 weekend together. It was after quite a bit of talking and like being in an exclusive relationship. Then they had the weekend together. The university guy pulled away because of work stuff, but he didn't communicate that. And then they had a fight and they broke up, 3rd act breakup. And the other guy went back to Chicago, and then his mom died. And that's how they got back together. And we didn't see them getting back together or anything. Just they, he was there for him for the funeral and all of that. And they were just together after that. It was fine, but it was not great. It was just fine, honestly. However, it is a Black queer male romance by a Black queer man. That part's great. There's a lot of pop culture references, so if you're someone who doesn't like this specific moment in time referenced a lot in your book, you might not like it. And also the pandemic is referenced a good bit because that was when he was with his ex. So just know those things, and especially I would say the parental death. Overall, not the worst thing I've ever read, not the best. I'm going to do my reading journal. I'm going to finish up on Sprint because I know the next book that I'm going to read for a sightseeing prompt, and I don't want to start it before bed. It is by one of my very favorite authors, and it came out at the end of May. I've just been saving it because it fits the prompt. It's not been easy to hold off reading it, so I'm like really looking forward to reading that one. That's it for me for June 1st. All right, so I am 23% into After the Shut Up Ring by Cate Wells. This is my 5 words in the title sightseeing book. And so basically she's had a long-term relationship since she was in 8th grade, right? She's 24 now. And they have 2 kids together. Her fiance is an asshole at the altar. His vows are the worst. And it's like all of those viral videos of like grooms being unbelievable, and then the bride is like still happy to be their wife. So she says no at the altar, and her best friend's older brother was also 1 year older than her and also liked her when she was in 8th grade, but his dad, you know, was like, hey, you're in high school, you don't mess with middle grade aged girls, even though there's only 1 year's difference between them, right? And then she's been in a relationship ever since. So they're at 24 and 25, but literally she's always been in a relationship, and he's liked her like his entire life. And it's so sweet. Oh my God. I'm like so happy. I'm so happy. I'm only 23% into this book. We've already passed like the whole wedding and everything. All that's done. But like this man is so sweet. I'm like 3 pages further in than the last check-in, but I just need you all to know how good this is with this single mom and him just wanting to provide and protect, but also like people are kind of warning him like, hey, like you have a good income and she's in a really bad situation. She might go for you just because life would be better with you than without you. Part of him is like, that's fine. And part of him is just like, he desperately wants her to care about him the way he cares about her. And he is so mad at the way she doesn't take care of herself, the way she takes care of everyone else. And he just wants to take care of her for her. The dream, living the dream.
Hello and welcome to our Grand Spectacular. Tonight, our $100,000 winner.
You guys can say hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm on sprints and it is time. That did nothing. Time to update you on all the things. So last night I finished After the Shut Up Ring by Cate Wells. It's 5 stars, obviously, because pretty much the lowest she gets for me is a 4. She writes characters that feel like real people. Hi, I figured out what I was trying to say here, and that is that Cate Wells writes characters in a way where it doesn't seem like they were written by a professional writer or an English major, but she's only able to do that because she understands the rules of writing, right? She's an excellent writer. It's not that she's incapable of writing a character with good grammar. She is more than capable of it, but she's also able to translate it to what her character would actually say in the way that they would actually say it. And that feels like real people to me. They sound like people that I know. They sound like how regular country people a lot of times will talk, especially in Pennsylvania. Like, it feels like people I know. And it feels like people who are making mistakes and struggling a little bit and just doing their best. They're just average people. They're poor to middle class. They're the people that live in my town and the town over. And I really love getting to see the way that Cate Wells writes their dialogue and their inner monologues and stuff. It's noticeable in every book how much her characters sound like people and not like characters. And again, I think some of that is because I'm from Pennsylvania. Like, I am familiar with the people that she's writing. But I think a lot of times our characters are a little bit better than we are, right? They're a little more polished. Even when they're messy, it's in a very orchestrated way. I really like that it's a single mom with her best friend's older brother. I like that he has liked her since they were teenagers. It was very sweet and bittersweet because he's liked her the entire time. I liked that, even though for me, a lot of times I'm like, oh, like, you could have been happy for the last 10 years. Why are we doing this? It worked. I really liked that having an STD was normalized in this book. I liked the way that it talked about it. And for sure, there's this medical scene where the doctor is giving her a checkup and her test came back. She's pregnant with her second child at 19. She's not married. And now she has an STD. And the way that that doctor talked to her, still professional, but it was so real. It was so real. And I think it might be triggering for some people. So I do want to specifically mention it. You know, this doctor's basically blaming her for having an STD and for having children and for not knowing that she has an STD, even though why would she when she has had one partner? And then that is just talked about so much about how many people have it and don't know, and how many people are going to have it, and how, you know, it's just another medical condition and you need to be honest and you need to practice safe sex, but that doesn't make you immune to it. It doesn't mean that you are above the people who have it because you practice safe sex and they don't. I loved the language around it. I really felt like it was handled really well. And I'm glad to see a romance main character with an incurable STD still able to find happiness. And again, just the way it was talked about in the book, I really appreciated. So another 5-star from Kate C. Wells for me. She can basically do no wrong, even when I'm like, oh, that's messy. She can do no wrong. And then last night I read the prologue of Saints of Storm and Sorrow by, I can't find it. Hold on. I don't want to mess anything up on my spreads, but chances are I will. Gabriella Buba. I was right. I didn't even need to check. I know what I'm talking about. I think that this is going to fit a city prompt at some point, and it is a NetGalley arc that comes out this month, so I kind of need to read it in June anyways, but it is a fantasy book with not fantasy romance, just fantasy with a romance subplot, I think. And that is going to take me longer. I do a lot better usually with that if I read, you know, the first couple chapters here, the first couple chapters there, until I kind of get to the point where I'm really hooked and invested, and then I'll usually finish the rest of the book in one fell swoop. But getting into it is sometimes a little bit slower. That's just sometimes the nature of fantasy. So I tend to kind of nibble at it before I get interested or DNF. So I started that last night, but then I want to read these manga that Izzy got me for my birthday. Nina, the Starry Bride. So this would count as a name in the title, and then the second one is under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads. So there are sightseeing prompts that I can knock out today, and then the rest of today is third day of the readathon. I have got to do regular life maintenance. I've got to cook and clean and grocery shop and do laundry and just honestly as productive as I can be today. If no prompts dropped, the better things need done. I've been spending a lot of time for the readathon, which is totally fine. Obviously it's by choice. I've been spending a lot of time for the readathon the last couple of days, and I really need a good chunk of time dedicated to not the readathon to getting stuff done. So that's my plan. I also need to update my reading journal for after the shut up ring because I finished it. So very excited. I guess I'll include you in that for part of it. I'm not going to show you every single thing that I do because I do a lot of different things for every single book, but I'll show you some of it. So my reading journal is kind of like a pretty spreadsheet, and I track different things, what they fit, but we start off with my readathon spread, and then you have the things I update for every single book that I read, even if I DNF it. I update all of these things, and this isn't even all of the things that I update for every single book. So obviously I have to stay on top of my reading journal, but it is the pride and joy of my life. I was minding my business when things just dropped in Discord. What the fuck? So there I was on reading sprints, updating my reading journal, paying no attention to anything, filming my reading journal with my phone, so I wasn't looking at my phone. I was journaling when the chat said to go to Discord, and I was told the sabotage and was there reconsidering all of my life choices that brought me into this level of chaos that Loki decided to drop on me while live on the internet. So there's that. After I recovered sufficiently, I went back to trying to peacefully do my reading journal. Then I did read all of Nina, the Starry Bride this day. I I read some on sprints, then I had to go do errands, put away the groceries, do the dishes, all of the many things. And then I finished Nina the Starry Bride later that night. It's a fantasy romance manga. It was a gift for my birthday from Izzy, and I loved it. I don't give a ton of manga 5 stars. I am a novel first person. I don't read nearly as much manga or graphic novels. And as we all know, I can't do audiobooks, which is the bane of my existence. But this was so good. I had so much fun with it. I can't wait to get to the second volume, which I also have from Izzy, and I'm just really happy with it. There was a fun romance banter. Our main character is an orphan, and because of her blue eyes, she can be used as a body double for the princess who was just killed in an accident, and they're trying to keep it hush hush. So she overnight becomes a princess, and she's going to have a romance with one of the princes that is also her mentor and also knows who she really is. And so I'm really excited about that. I just wanted to show you all that readathons cannot dominate an entire month. You still have a life during that month. And things like dishes and laundry and jobs and parenting, all of those things still have to get done. So don't feel any guilt or pressure if you're like, oh, I need to be reading for the readathon. My team is counting on me. No, it's fine. Like, I'm competitive too. And I'm definitely going to be reading like above average for myself and what I might otherwise if I wasn't doing this readathon, but I'm not going to stress myself out. One of the really fun things about being a host for this readathon is sometimes we have no idea what's happening and sometimes we're lying. There's a theory thread on Discord that I think is right about POVs, but I guess this is mentioned quite a bit in some of the videos. I didn't pick up on this. I just read it in theories and was like, but that seems to be a good possibility. Later that night, we got the second city prompt for Buenos Aires, and this was a book with 2 POVs, or dual POV, because it takes 2 to tango. So it had to be exactly 2 POVs, so I did start reading The Queer Principles of Webb by Sebastian. I read some of it at bedtime the night that the prompt dropped, and then some of it this morning before working on my journal. And then I ended up spending a lot of this day working on this vlog, editing, editing some more. I probably spend well over 3 times as long as a video is working on it behind the scenes. So that ended up being quite a bit because I had like an hour's worth of footage that I needed to cut down. And so here we are. But this is all my reading journal updates for Nina the Starry Bride. And I show you my own TBR, my series tracker, my manga tracker, all the stuff. Alright, this is a quick update to let you know that I have read a couple of chapters today. Some days are like that, even during a readathon. And I have a cardinal nest right outside my kitchen window in a lilac bush that I showed in a vlog recently, and I just want you all to know there's a baby in there. So I discovered that today and I'm pretty excited about it. And that's all I've got for you. I'm tired. And while I am going to try to read some before bed, who knows? Also, The End by Halsey came out today. It's a beautiful, soul-crushing acoustic song, so if you haven't listened to it yet, I love Halsey. Hi, I am 50%-ish into The Queer Principles of Webb by Sebastian, and I'm really enjoying it. I was up early this morning, so I got a head start on that a little bit. I am having a great time with the readathon, I have to say. Having a lot of fun. Everyone is great. I'm basically, point me in the right direction and I will do what you tell me to do. So you tell me to do this, I'll do this. You tell me to stop doing that, I'll stop doing that. You tell me to do this instead, okay. I will do whatever you tell me to do if I sign up for it, you know? So I'm having fun. I have fallen off my book a day reading pace, but that's okay. I figured that I would with some of the books, and then what I'm hoping is on other days I might read a couple of shorter ones, so I'm not worried about that. I don't know how much I'll be able to read today. Honestly, it might be a large amount, it might not be. I don't really know where I'm gonna end up with that, but regardless, it will be completely fine. So my team is doing great. They are chatting amongst themselves and having a wonderful time. I can tell you so far, my favorite part about this readathon by far is everyone reading my favorite books. Some of them were my host favorites, some of them were Izzy's host favorites, some are just things that we've recommended, and some are things that other people have recommended but I have also loved, you know? So seeing so many people read some of my absolute favorites and getting to like see their reactions and their spoilers and stuff is so much fun. I'm having the time of my life with that. Team Romance has basically done a buddy read of Role Playing by Kathy Yardley, which is my favorite romance of last year, and I am thrilled. I'm so happy with it. And then people are reading In a Jam, which was like, I forget what the ranking was, but it was in my top 10 of last year, so I'm so happy. I'm so happy watching everyone read my favorite books. So, The Queer Principles of Kit Webb is a historical romance. It is Linda Highwaymen. So he was injured a year ago, so he is disabled now. His leg is just not going to get better. And he runs a coffee shop, and then he is propositioned by a lord who needs his help to rob his own father, and they have a romance. And I will say, you have historical grief for a spouse and a child, so that is like, I'm already feeling sad about that, and I think I'm gonna feel more sad about that later in the book. I'm scared, but I'm having a great time. I really like reading about bisexual characters in romances. I just have a great time with that. And that's it. That's all I've got for you for the moment, because yesterday I spent a lot of time editing this vlog, and let me tell you, I don't want to have to edit a ton more, so we're done here. Another day, another dollar. Just kidding. I don't get paid for this. But please enjoy these 4 loads of laundry being folded and put away in approximately 40 seconds, which, believe you me, is unbelievably misleading because it took me over an hour. I know this because I was watching Brittany sprint, and she was sprinting for an hour and I was still doing the laundry. So, you know, I feel like I have an excuse for why it never usually gets put away in a timely manner. It definitely lives in the basket. It's Thursday. I did finish The Queer Principles of Kit Webb last night after spending most of the day procrastinating reading because I didn't really want to read it. And I was thinking about the ENFing, so I think a huge part of this is that I had read the second book before the first book, and the second book spoils a lot of reveals of the first book, so I already kind of knew what happened with the plot and how they got their happily ever after and how all of that worked. So I think that that definitely contributed to it. I don't think that I would have been as disinterested if I hadn't spoiled myself. However, it was a very solid 4-star. The entire time that I was reading it, I enjoyed it. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the book. It's just I could have DNF'd and been okay with it. And I did avoid reading most of the day, but it was fine. It was fine. I did end up crying. I did, when they were talking about his wife and child, when he was telling him about what happened. I was crying, and it was kind of funny. My husband doesn't know this, but he was laying in bed watching something next to me. He had headphones on, so like, I don't know what he was watching, but he was like giggling, he was laughing hysterically, he was shaking the bed, he was having a great time. And unbeknownst to him, I'm lying next to him, right, with my little Kindle, with tears just kind of rolling down my face a little bit, just a couple. It wasn't extreme, but I knew that we were having very opposite times on our entertainment. I have not sightseed yet. Sightseed? I have not read for sightseeing yet today, but I have finished working on this vlog up until this point. So I'm going to pick up Nina and the Starry Bride Volume 2 real quick because I don't have anything to interrupt me right now. I can read physically without it being an issue. So I'm going to do that while also being on Brittany's Sprints. So hello Sprints, you're right over there. So I read this, the ending, massive, wild. I need more. I desperately need more. I need more of this. Do you hear me? I need more of this. Oh, it's so good. And also, I'm not 100% sure what's gonna happen with love interests. I don't freaking know because this guy's not on the cover of the next volume. Like, I need to know things. I'm very into this. Very into this. If you like fantasy romance, if you like political intrigue and court stuff and royalty stuff and a little bit of romance, there was a nudity scene at the end, so be careful what eyes you have beside you looking over your shoulder. But yeah, I'm really into this. I'm gonna need more. So thank you so much, Izzy, for getting this for me for my birthday because you thought I would like it. You know your stuff. Hey, I'm here to close out the vlog. So we have had our third city prompt drop, and that is, what is that? Berlin with movement in the title. And I think that this is one of our more difficult city prompts. So I survived. Izzy was in a car the entire time, driving like a grown-up. And I was busy in the Discord, so made it through that. I am avoiding reading again, so we'll see. I might have to just use a really short book for this prompt. I don't know. But I was given a hint to let you all know, specifically for romance team. The team that has been ahead of us, shall we say, is one of the smaller teams. So I don't know, it might be time to form an alliance with fantasy. But that's it for the first vlog. I'm so tired. Like, brain empty. No thoughts. But yeah, I really love my team. I will say that. I really love my team, so I'm tired. It's gonna be a busy couple days for me personally, so the next vlog might not start for a couple days. We'll see. Hope everyone is having an amazing readathon. And if you're here and not here for the readathon, but just here because it's a Heather vlog, let me know what you're confused about. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.